My name is Jeff with IDX Broker now for about going on 4 years here soon in the sales department. Today we're going to cover creating landing pages for schools. Could be elementary school, middle school, high school, whatever it may be. It's kind of a maybe not used everywhere in every community. I know for me and my family and my kids, there were certain schools that we did want to stay out of. So when we were searching, we did search and make sure that they were in the correct school district by houses as well. So we want to just kind of give you some of the options of what you can do by creating landing pages. You can create widgets. And then if there's anybody that's using WordPress, there's now a feature that is kind of cool. You can actually put it inside what's called your omnibar, which is your all-in-one search bar up at the very top. As you can see, I got city, address, listing ID, which is what comes standard. But now with the WordPress plugin, Impress, you can add some additional advanced fields to it. So now you can make it so that your clients, or allow for your clients, to be able to search by schools. We'll run by a few of those. As far as the widgets go, this would be an example of a widget for homes. It's all within the Thurston High School, which is going to be in my area. So I'm going to be working off of my demo account, my website with the local Oregon MLS. This particular one is a carousel widget, so it allows the clients to cycle through these if they want. Got a couple of different options, so we're going to make some widgets. We're going to embed them here, show you how to do all of that, and then we'll make some pages and show you how to do those as well. So if you guys want to check it out, my site, mine is my name, just jefftrue.com. If you want to go there, you can browse through it. Everything here is strictly done for just webinars. So anything you see on here has been webinar related. Well, let's go figure out how we made this IDX Thurston High School. It's pretty easy with the advanced search fields. Most schools are searchable all in advanced search fields. Just depends on the MLS though. Some MLSs may be a little bit different. So what we want to do, we're going to start off, let's make a page. So we're going to go to Preferences, Saved Links, and we want to create. So now we want to pick what type of a search page we want to do. So we're going to be using the advanced search field, so we have to use the advanced search page. We do have options with Platinum that you can do polygon maps or radius maps. You can do like within a 2-mile radius of a school, 5-mile radius of a school, depending on your area, what might work. But for now, we're going to do advanced search. Now I've got multiple MLSs on my demo account, so by default I'm going to go to my RMLS. If you don't have any other ones, or you're going to want to select another one, click your drop down, select your MLS. You can sort by property types. We're going to stick with residential for me. It's all I have available on mine. So you can type in the city if you want. You don't necessarily need to. If you're coming in off of a high school, middle school, it should automatically assign cities. We'll go ahead and erase my prices here. You can also set these up for homes for sale in such and such a high school between 200 and 400, 400 to 600. So you can create a bunch of different landing pages for your clients as well. So we want to go down here. So for instance, I'll do my local area where I know we're going to have lots of houses. I'm going to click the Sheldon High School. Now some all middle schools are going to lead up to it. So if you wanted to look for certain high schools, but as well certain areas of middle school, you can do both of them at the same time. So now it's going to be, like for this instance, this is going to keep it more on the north side of where Sheldon High School is in here. If I wanted to add, there's 2 other middle schools that could be added to it, so you can kind of break them even down by, north of Sheldon High School, west of Sheldon High School, and then they got east of Sheldon High School. So we've got a couple of different options you can do. If you're ever unsure if that particular search is going to be good or not, you can always click View Results in a new window. It'll save everything that you have done in here, so it's not going to make you start back over. Click on View Results in a new window, and it's going to let you know. So right now we're pulling in 57 results, and then it'll apply the map as well. So Sheldon's going to be over in this area. Cal Young's all going to be up on this north side over here. So we'll be pulling them all in, so we know, okay, this is going to be a good search, good landing page for your clients. So we'll go back over here. Once we've selected all the individual advanced fields that we want. You can go through and add any additional ones up here. If you want to put in beds, baths, square footage, you can. If you want to do a newest listed by school areas, you can do that. So max days listed of a school, you could throw that in there as well. So we're going to go down to next step. Here's where we want to name our pages. You can name it anything you want. So that's going to be the page title. It's automatically going to drop the link URL from the page title down here. It's going to put dashes in there. I'm actually using an Agent Evolution theme on this one, but it is mainly going through the Impress plugin from IDX Broker. There are a few things that are being run on the page as far as using the direct equity framework on that, but for the most part, I try to stick within just the Impress stuff. You can add meta tag descriptions, meta tag keywords, kind of help drive some more traffic, get better SEO with that. So we want to add any subheaders, you can definitely do that. So you want to write some information about the school. So you can take and add these. So that's in paragraph size. Let's drop it up or bring it up just a little bit to heading 2. That way to really stand out, give us a good header on there. Now you can add any information on here. You can go create a video, create images of the school, plop it in here, other stuff that's around here. You can add all that. You can hyperlink from it. If you wanted to create like a YouTube video, you can take in and record it, post it to your YouTube account, get the embed script and put it in with the HTML. So you'll have all that available as well. All right, if we have multiple agents on an account, for this particular one, I do have multi-agents available on this one. So if I wanted to assign certain agents to certain areas for this particular school, you can definitely do that. If you leave it blank, it will use your standard lead routing. So we will save and manage our links here, and we'll go find it. Okay, real estate for sale near Sheldon. So over to the right here, we got a magnifying glass, we got an edit button, we got our edit preferences under our brackets, and you can trash it. So we want to make sure that our wrapper is going to be displaying good and what it's going to look like for our clients before we go and add it to our website. So we're going to go click on the magnifying glass. It will open up the page for you, and you can see it's going to have the long tail URL that I applied to it, which is real estate for sale near Sheldon. Probably would have been better off to put Sheldon High School. No big deal. So we see our wrapper showing up. Our map is showing up and working correctly. So we'll close that out. And what we want to do is we want to add this into our WordPress dashboard. So we're going to go into IDX pages. Sometimes if we just do a refresh on that plugin, we can do that as well. So we'll go back to Impress. We'll refresh our plugin options, refresh the API, and it will continue to pull those over now. So the floating Omni search is standard for the theme. So that's actually going to be inside the Impress plugin under Omnibar settings, just right here. So let's go take a look and see if our pages came over yet. Okay, so real estate for sale near Sheldon. So it popped up. So we can click on it, go take a look at it, go edit it, anything that we want. Basically what I want to do is I want to add this information to my navigation menu. Let's say you have a tab up on your website, like I have, for instance, communities, about, golf course, and condo webinar. Let's say if I want to have one on here that says, you know, homes near schools or school zones or something like that, you can name each one of them, have drop-down menus for your high school, and we'll create landing pages for each high school. You can definitely add as many of those as you want. So we're going to go back over here. I'm going to go to our appearance and menus. We want to take a look at our IDX pages, real estate for sale near Sheldon. We're going to click on that. Now we want to add it to the menu. So this is basically going to just dump everything right over here. So it's going to dump it over, drop it off at the bottom. Now when we do that, it's going to throw it all the way over to the right, but I've got quite a bit on my bar, so it may actually drop it down into 2 sections. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm not a big fan of the 2 sections, so what we'll do is I'll just remove one. Yeah, see, it dropped it down into 2 sections over there. So we're going to remove maybe like about and try to clean it up a little bit. This kind of makes it, drop it down, kind of clutters it up a little bit. So what we want to do is let's go ahead and get rid of our about, and we're going to remove this one. But now let's say I don't want to have just real estate near Sheldon there. So I want to kind of clean that up a little bit, and let's put you know, schools in there. So you can just create kind of a landing page or whatever, just a text up there. I always have done it just using linked text. It's kind of a cheater way, maybe not the best way to do it. Let's just throw schools on there. All right, so I want to make this one a little bit more prominent. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. So all you got to do is drag and drop where you want these to go. So I'm going to put this before communities. So after search and before communities. So we're going to drop it up there at schools. So now we're going to go back and grab this page that we created, and we want to put it underneath the schools. So when you do that, you're going to see that it's going to set right underneath here. So if we want to convert it into a drop-down menu, you want to take and drag it over to the right just a little bit, and you'll see the little highlighted brackets come over. Once we do that, that turns this into a drop-down menu when we hover over schools. Let's kind of clean it up a little bit as far as like what it's going to look like. Oh, it's not quite as long as what we had it. We'll go down, we'll save this menu. Now everything that we've applied to this should be coming over here. So you go back to your main website, hit Control F5. It will refresh, clear the cache. And you can see About is gone, which is between golf or communities and golf courses. And we slid it over here between property search and communities. So now when we hover over schools, when somebody clicks on schools, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay right where it's at so it doesn't disappear. And then you'll see we got our page for real estate in the Sheldon area. We click on that one and it's going to go to our page. It's pretty dang simple adding pages to the navigation menu and creating those pages. You've also got your custom subheader, so you can add all this information here. If you want to write information about the school's ratings, whatever it may be, you can take and apply all of that to these pages as well. So let's go take a look at adding a widget. Widget is something that you can embed into any domain out there. All results details pages must reside on the account or on the domain that's registered with the IDX Broker account. We just want to put this one on our main landing page. So first of all, what we got to do is we need to go create a new widget. So you got two different options with WordPress now. You can create a widget by just pulling in from the save link that you created, so you don't have to go in and make two of them if you want to display them in two different areas. But for now, we'll go ahead and create it separately. Now I showed you how to do it with advanced search fields. Let's do one. Let's set one up like on a 5-mile radius or whatever it may be, using the polygon tools or the radius tool with our platinum. Let's go ahead and showcase, and we will go polygon search. So we just need to figure out where our school zones are at. You'll have to figure that one out on your own because I'm not familiar with your own areas. All right, so we've got, sometimes you got to switch your layers here so you can make sure you got a good area. Okay, so this particular one is a Churchill for us, so we can perform searches that way. Or we can just set up a radius on here. So this one here doesn't have very many schools around it. This is kind of off to its own little section for our city. So it's a little bit larger, but everything from here on over basically belongs to Churchill. So what we're going to do is we can go ahead and create two things, a polygon or the radius search. So if you do the radius search, it's going to be, basically, let's say if you want to leave it in a walking distance for your children, let's put it all within like 2-mile radius basically of it. You can just grab basically where the center of the school is, and it's going to tell you your distance. So if we put it within 1.5 miles, that's what my radius will look like for that one. So it's a pretty good area. There's not much over in this side, but we want to keep it because we want to keep our boundary over here. Maybe the kids can handle walking 2 miles, 1 mile. It's hard to really say what's going to happen in that area. Once you make your changes, you can always apply the map back over to the regular. So whatever you save this as is what's going to be displaying on the website if you have it set up that way, as well as this elevation that you choose. So you can choose to zoom in a little bit more, zoom out a little bit more. Obviously, I think the best thing would be to make it so that the circle is still fully viewable. So we'll go ahead and go with that. We want to select which MLSs that we want. This one's going to be RMLS. We want to do residential, no minimum price, no maximum price. You can choose to sort it. So with showcase listings, you can display a maximum of 100 listings within this widget. Most commonly done is most expensive to least. Sometimes I like to do just the newest listings. That way it changes it up and it's not always going to be showing that highest price one that might be sitting in the market for 4 to 6 months. Newest listings is going to keep it newest to oldest, so it kind of keeps bringing up new ones for your clients that's coming to that website. You've got the option to display them as responsive, yes or no. Responsive will allow it to, as the screen shrinks down or as it's viewed on a mobile device, it will shrink everything down and fit within the screen or whatever container is available for that. Widget name, Churchill High, we'll do like 2 miles. All right, so we've already got sort by over there. We don't worry about that one. Width in rows, it's already going to be there because we have it selected as responsive. So you can choose the number of columns that you want. So if you want to keep it at 3 wide, it'll keep the images a little bit larger. Obviously, the more columns that you add, it's going to make the images a little bit smaller. So for instance, if we go 4, it's going to bring us down a little bit. Maximum number of listings is 100. So let's say that one result is going to pull back 25 today. but in 3 days, the market has an additional 10 or 15 or 20. So let's say in 3 days from now, there's actually 50 listings it's going to show. Because it's maxed out at 100, it'll show all those 50 listings. For instance, if you set your maximum number of listings to, say, 16, so 4 by 4, it's only going to show the newest listings of the 16. So careful when you do that, because there could be some listings that aren't being displayed on there. So it's not necessarily the best way to go if you want to make sure it's always available. When you are putting it on your front screen, it is probably a little bit better to keep it down just a little bit. That way it is the best option to use the carousel so your clients can cycle through those. Another option you have when building these widgets is to open widget links in a new window. This is also another good idea because what it's going to do is it'll just open it up for the most part in a new tab. And so when they close that tab out, they can go back to where they were looking at. They don't have to re-scroll through everything and get to that page. I like doing that personally because I like knowing where I left off. If I find I'm doing myself a repetitive job on most websites when I'm making purchases, I oftentimes will leave. We'll do our build widget. So there's 2 options that you can do. With WordPress, it's going to be pulling it over from the API from within this IDX Broker control panel, so you can add it but just in the widget area. You also have this option to grab this embed script, and you can take and paste that. So if you wanted to create a niche market website landing page, homes for sale in the Sheldon area.com, create a landing page, put the picture of the school, put your information on there, embed this script, and you got listings that's already on that page, throw it up there. It will go back to the details page of your primary domain, but at least you're driving traffic off of that niche website that you're trying to do. So you can copy this and embed it in that way. Before we go to add it to the website though, we're going to preview the widget just to make sure that everything's coming in 4 rows, container fit all nice and clean, looks very clean and good to go. Perfect. So looks like we got quite a few listings. So we're going to close that out. So now we've talked about putting that onto the IDX Broker, or my landing page using this widget. So we're going to go back over to the main website. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of IDX Thurston Homes, and then we're going to go ahead and throw just the entire screen of just this one. So we'll get rid of these properties and this one here. We'll clean that up first, and then we'll go in there. Easiest way to get there is Appearance, and then click on Widgets. Okay, so I just created this page. So we want to make sure that we're pulling it in. If not, we do sometimes have to go back in and refresh the plugin or the API to be able to pull over all the widgets. And I am not seeing it, so we want to go back over there real quick. Let's go to Impress, Initial Settings, and refresh our plugin options. Once that's done refreshing, everything should be pulling in. So we'll go back in here and we'll check out our widgets area, make sure we've got it pulled in. Okay, IDX Churchill High 2 miles. Here's our widget, so it did work. So I talked about removing Thurston, so we're going to go get rid of Thurston. So this is my home top area that I've got. This is a widget area, so we want to remove this one and replace it with the other one. So take our Thurston Homes, and we want to delete this widget. Now let's say if you want to throw multiple widgets, you can have quite a few of these stacked together. Keep in mind though, if you got a carousel, it's definitely worth it, because then you got one that's got properties on here right down below it. So you can set up like one for Thurston Homes, one for Sheldon Homes, one for Churchill Homes, and kind of stack everything up on top of each other. So I just removed Thurston. We came back to this page. We're going to do Control F5. We'll see that it's gone and properties should have moved up, which it did. So now we want to add a showcase widget, which we've done, but it's going to be very large. You're going to see where properties are actually going to drop way down on the website. So we'll go back in here, we'll grab our widget. You got 2 different options. You can click on it and you can choose where you want it to go, or you also have the option of just dragging it into the home top or where you want it. So right now you'll see that it's got text options, which is my boxes. I've got Churchill within 2 miles, and then I've got property carousel. So we'll save this, we'll go back and refresh it. Now it may take a little bit of time for this page to reload because it's going to have lots of listings. So you can see here we've got 4 properties wide is what we selected, and we've got a maximum of 100. So now you can see that this has become very large, and you got to scroll a long ways down. So sometimes doing a showcase widget isn't necessarily the best thing to do when you're dealing with your own home page, because now our properties is way the heck down here. Let's say you want to go ahead and keep a lot of them on there, but you don't want to lose your properties one. Let's say it's another, your featured listings. You don't want to bury your featured listings down. As far as grabbing a widget and dragging it and moving it around, it's very simple. As soon as you get the 4 arrows, when you hover over something, you're going to drag it and drop it. So right now we've just put properties back up there, and then we've got Churchill Homes below. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's go featured properties. That way it's going to look like that's my listings, my company's listings, my office accounts listings, whatever it may be. So when we go refresh this page, we don't want to lose our featured listings. So now we've got our featured properties up at the top, and then we've got our showcase of homes down below. Pretty fun, pretty easy stuff. It is a little bit of a learning curve. Once you get going on this stuff, it's actually very fast. Let's just go real quick. I hope everybody's doing okay. Coming up on our time limit, but let's go show you how to do on this omnibar search, adding those high schools or those subdivisions. It's a pretty cool little trick. It's pretty easy, but let's head in there and check it out. So everything's going to be done off of the advanced search pages. So as long as you've got something that's available on these advanced search pages, click on fields. So I've got RMLS residential is the ones I'm going to be working with. So we're going to save everything, so show everything that's available. So this is everything that's available on my advanced search page. I can take and add additional fields that's available over here. It's very simple. All you got to do is just drag them, or actually just click on the plus. It'll throw it up over here. Status, and again, very simple, drag and drop, easy to do. So as long as you've got these advanced search filters in here, you can go ahead and create that within your omnibar for adding advanced fields. So the location to do that is actually going to be inside WordPress, and it's going to be under the Impress plugin under Omnibar settings. Okay, so let's say you have multiple MLSs. Not everybody's going to, but for instance, I do. You want to select all MLSs if you have multiples, or if you want to, select it down to just one area on that Omnibar, you can definitely do that. I'm going to keep mine as combined. My default property type is single-family residential. Regional listings is where I'm working this out of. So you can specify certain fields. So if you want to stay residential in the RMLS, Southeast Florida, you can say I just want to do condos or something over there. You can definitely do that. But here's where you're going to have your custom fields. Now you can only add up to 10 fields to this area right here. Right now I've got the high schools in there. I'm going to delete them so I can show you exactly how to do this. So what gets tricky about this is, let's say you have 3 MLSs. You want to make high school searchable across all 3 MLSs. That's actually 3 fields. When you do that, you actually have to start typing. We're going to go high school. So if you've got multiple MLSs, we want to add regional MLSs here. So we're going to click on high school, dropped over here. But let's say I want to add high schools for this other MLS that I'm a member of. So you got to throw another one in there. So now it's going to search high schools across multiple areas. So it can get a little bit trickier, can use up some of those data fields, but it does make things available. Not everybody's going to have this many MLSs, so this makes it a little bit harder. You can even throw middle schools in here. So now we've done that. Let's get rid of subdivision, and let's get rid of high school, middle school, high school. So we got a few of them in there. Let me throw middle school in my section as well. So now what you've got your placeholder. So city, address, listing ID, subdivision, high school. You can change what's going to be displayed on this one here. So it's going to be right here, city, address, listing ID, subdivision, or high school. So we'll throw in here, search by schools. Save changes. Okay, it's applied it. So now you should be able to just search for your schools, and it's going to say search by schools when we go in there. Go back over to our main page, Control F5, hard refresh. Now we have it so when people visit this website, they're going to be able to just type in the high schools and click on search. It does allow you to only select one at a time, but it's going to give you your option where people can just type in and search by school if you wanted. You can do this with any advanced search field that's out there. So if you want to do it off of a community name, subdivision, area, you put what you want. Thank you guys for attending. You guys have a great afternoon.